Shalom, it's Levi Shore. Welcome back to Swing Good Torah. So if you're worried about all the growing anti-Semitism and growing wars around the world, potential war with America and Iran, or Hezbollah invading Israel and the war of Hamas, and just all the crazy stuff going on, we say something incredible every day in the davening at the end of Pisukei D'Zimra, and it's called the Shir Shel Yam, the Song of the Sea. So we just learned about it in Parsha Beshalach when when we had the miracle of the Kriyas Yamsuf, the parting of the Red Sea when we were coming out of Egypt. There's going to be even greater miracle in the future in the days of Mashiach, and it's called the Gula Shlema. Just the redemption from Egypt was kind of like the coming attraction, the trailer. But the big movie, the real feature film is coming soon, and that's going to be the great salvation from all the nations, of the world. So it's interesting. So we say this every day. So if you're really tense and worried about like what's going on in the world, you're going to really appreciate this amazing thing. So let me see if I can bring it up on the screen here. And one thing that's really cool about the Shir Shel Yam is that here is the very beginning. This is a hint. This is a remez to Chiyas Mesim, to the resurrection of the dead, which seems like very incredible to some people, especially growing up in a secular world. But it says here, Az Yashir Moshe. So it's talking about Moses, and it says, and then Moses sang. So he got everyone singing this song of the sea after the splitting of the Red Sea. But what's really incredible is what it actually says is it says, Az Yashir Moshe. It says Moshe will sing. So there's going to be two phases of the Chiyas Mesim. There's going to be the first one where the Siddiqim will come back. So I think it's going to be great people like Moshe Rabbeinu, like Moses. I think it's going to be like Abraham and Sarah, like Abraham and Sarah, and Yitzhak and Rivka, Isaac and Rebecca, and Yaakov and Leah and Rachel, Jacob and Leah and Rachel. I mean, just the great Siddiqim, I think, are going to come back in this first Chiyas Mesim, and maybe if he dies, Mashiach ben Yosef, and if he doesn't, he'll be there. And then I think Mashiach ben David's going to bring back or maybe bring on the Techiyas Mesim, or it's going to be brought on by Eliyahu and Navi. And it's a great power of Hashem through these Nevi'im, through these prophets. So we say this every day, and it's really incredible what it says here, and it's so relevant to what we are going through in the world. And it's amazing the amount of nevuah, the prophecy, and it's exactly what's building right now. So it says here, it says, Shamu Amim. So like the nations listen, the nations are listening. There's great things going on in the world. And when they start to see this redemption process, this Geula process, it's going to say something really cool here. It's going to say, Yir Gazun Chil Achaz Yoshvei Palashes. And it's going to be Chil, Terra. Terra is going to grip a hold of the people that live in, you ready for this? Palashes. It's talking about Palestine, folks. And why is this Midakanega? Why is this measure for measure? Because the Palestinians, with all their terrorist groups, with all their little chants of from the river, from the sea, terror is going to grip them. It's like you get what you earn. You want to kill, you want to defile women, you want to bring terror to the world. Terror is going to grip them when they realize there's only one God, there's one infinite being that runs the world, and it's not the rock you're praying to in Mecca. Sorry, suckers. So then it says, Az Nivhalu Alufe Adom Ele. So then it says them, the princes, the chieftains of Edom. So who are these chieftains? They're going to be confused. So who is it talking about here? And so we're talking about, it's not a melech. An aluf is a step down from a melech. A melech's a king with the power of life and death in their hands. So this is talking about an aluf. And an aluf is what we call, in this world, we call presidents and prime ministers. So you may say, oh, well, the West, they're all friendly and, they love the Jewish people. But there's a little bit of a game going on here. First thing, for sure, you have all the neo-Nazi groups, and they're definitely going to be punished in this group. But then it's very deceptive because, like, in the recent current events, unfortunately, like President Biden, his administration, they've channeled tens of billions of dollars into Iran's hands, and that funded the Hamas terrorism, and it's funding Hezbollah, and it's funding the Houthis, and you can pretend whatever you want, but I mean these things are unfolding very quickly. Also, they're going to be confused because they've tried to confuse the world, and it's been a little more nister, but through things, people are going to yell conspiracy, but through their organizations and secret societies, especially things for like the CIA, MI5. They've had programs in the past like the Mockingbird Project and the Mockingbird Media, where the CIA is purposely, and I'm sure MI5 does, and all the rest of the intelligence organizations, influencing the media, influencing the scripts, being written for movies and TV, influencing the way people think, trying to confuse the mind, like their MK Ultra program. And because of all this confusion, especially the whole Enlightenment brought by the West, like the ultimate confusion of mankind to hide from people's eyes that there's only one infinite being, there's only Hashem, that they and because they've tried to confuse the world, they're going to become confused. So it says they're going to become confused. Then it says, Ele Moav Yochazemu Ra'ad. So let's see. So this one's a little trickier. So this is the powers, the Ele Moab, the powers of Moab. Now Moab is I believe Moab, where it used to be located, is the country of Jordan. I believe it's still there. It's talking about, and Yochazemu Ra'ad. Like it's going to grip them with trembling. There's going to be great earthquakes in Jordan. Now, it seems strange now because Israel and Jordan officially have a peace treaty. We just saw that horrible attack on I think it was Tower 22, the American base in Jordan, right on the Syrian border. But it seems like those ties are starting to weaken a little bit. Jordan has historically, they invaded Israel in 1948, during the War of Independence there, and they invaded again in 67. I think they didn't participate in 73, but it seems like, unfortunately, the peace may start to waver. Now then it says, Namogu kol yoshvei Canaan. And it says that it's going to dissolve all the dwellers of Canaan. So who is that talking about? So we're talking about all the terrorist groups in Africa, like Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, talking about Gaddafi's gone, but the terrorist groups, from Libya, terrorist groups like Boko Haram, you have like Sudan and Somalia there. There's certain like Islamic terrorist groups there. And then we even see like South Africa. Israel goes into Gaza to try to rescue the hostages and defend themselves. And then instead of bringing the war crimes of Hamas, the South Africans want to charge Israel with war crimes. So there's going to be a retribution when this is all said and done. And then it says, Tipo Lechem Emasa V'Fachat. So as now, they want to get us scared. They want to terrorize the Jewish people, and they want to put fear upon us. But in the end, Hashem hasn't changed. This one infinite being hasn't gone away. He's still our God. We're still his people. And as much as, the anti-Semitism can rise throughout all the world, Jewish people are starting to wake up. We're going to return. We're going to return to the good old days. We're going to remember who we were. Now, then really incredible things happen. So then when we pass through this and the miracle of the Kriyas Yamsuf, and when we saw this miracle, the splitting the Red Sea, it said the Jewish people had a greater revelation of Hashem in the world than like Yechezkel ben Buzi, than the great prophet Ezekiel, who saw the throne room, the vision of the throne room. And there was such a clear understanding of how Hashem exists and is running the world. So it says, it's very interesting, it says, Kol leHashem hamalucha u'Moshe bagoyim. That to Hashem, because to Hashem is really the kingship. Hashem's the Melech HaOlam. He's the king of the universe. Hashem's created everything, and he's really the ruler of all the nations. And then this is an amazing thing. V'alu Moshi'im b'Har Tzion. And then the Mashi'im, the Messiahs, the saviors. Who is that talking about? It's talking about Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. Both of them are going to go up to Har Tzion. What's Har Tzion? That's the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. That's where the temple was built. Lishpot, that's Har Esav. And they're going to judge the mountain of Esav. They're going to judge the final end of the Roman Empire. V'haisel Hashem HaMelucha. And then it will be to Hashem the kingship. V'haya Hashem LaMelech al Kol Haaretz. And then Hashem will be the king upon all the world. The whole earth will recognize, this one infinite being, that we're all created. We're all sustained from this one infinite God. But Yomahu Yihya Hashem Echad. Then Hashem's name, his holy name of Yud-He and Vav-He, will finally be united. People have a clear understanding of Hashem in the world, and Ushemo Echad, and his name will be one. And that's when we'll finally get into the age of peace, where we can take the swords and the plowshares and the spears and the pruning hooks and all the good stuff. And Bezrat Hashem, we're going to see it soon. Okay, so don't worry so much about all the anti-Semites and all their boasts, because we're getting very close where the fear is going to turn around on them. when Hashem reveals himself more and more in this world. So if it makes you feel better, open up a Siddur, say the Shir Shel Yam every day. Say it in the morning. Say it, say it anytime. It'll make you feel a lot better. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah.